In 2026, the American narrative of small-town safety is being challenged by a startling statistical reality. While major cities like New York and Chicago often dominate the headlines, some of the highest per capita violent crime rates are actually found in towns with fewer than 50,000 residents. This phenomenon, known as the microurban crime paradox, occurs when a small population base is overwhelmed by localized systemic issues such as drug trafficking routes or extreme economic isolation. However, a bizarre trend has emerged: many of these dangerous towns are actually growing. Driven by the great affordability migration, thousands of Americans are trading safety for lower mortgages, betting that they can find a quiet corner in a loud town. Here are the 7 most dangerous small towns in the US in 2026 and the surprising reasons why people are still moving there. 1. Alexandria, Louisiana. Why number 1? In 2026, Alexandria remains at the top of the list with a violent crime rate that measures roughly 1,972 per 100,000 residents, surpassing the Louisiana state average by over 260%. The why behind the danger is a combination of its position as a major transit hub for illegal narcotics and a historically underfunded municipal police force. Why it grows. Despite the statistics, Alexandria is seeing a population uptick due to its central hub status. It serves as the primary medical and retail center for a massive rural radius, creating a gravity well for employment in central Louisiana. The draw. In 2026, the cost of living here remains 22% lower than the national average. For workers in the healthcare and utilities sectors, the high wages relative to the dirt-cheap housing market create a financial incentive that outweighs the crime risk on paper. 2. Bessemer, Alabama. Why number 2? Bessemer is often cited as the violent capital of small-town Alabama. In 2026, the town faces a critical challenge with a violent crime rate of 23.57 per 1,000 residents, which is approximately 6 times the national median. The proximity to Birmingham's industrial sprawl has left Bessemer with high unemployment and a depleted tax base in its historic core. Why it grows. Bessemer is benefiting from the Birmingham overflow. As the main city becomes too expensive for many service-class workers, Bessemer offers a starter home haven with houses frequently listed between $120,000 and $170,000. The draw. The town has seen massive industrial investment from global logistics giants and tech firms proposing new data centers. This industrial gravity is pulling in young families who are willing to overlook neighborhood stats for a steady, high-paying logistics job. 3. Monroe, Louisiana. Why number 3? Monroe holds a somber record for one of the highest violent crime rates in the South, reaching over 2,100 incidents per 100,000 residents. In 2026, it is frequently ranked in the top 3 most dangerous towns for homicides per capita. The violence is often concentrated in neglected urban pockets where youth infrastructure is nearly non-existent. Why it grows. Monroe is the home of the University of Louisiana at Monroe, ULM, which acts as a demographic anchor. The constant influx of students and academic faculty keeps the local economy breathing even during national downturns. The draw. The city has invested heavily in its riverfront development, creating a safe zone of upscale dining and parks. In 2026, this bifurcated reality allows newcomers to live a quiet, suburban life just a few miles away from some of the nation's most statistically dangerous streets. 4. Saginaw, Michigan. Why number 4? Saginaw is a classic example of a post-industrial trap. In 2026, it struggles with a crime rate of 42 per 1,000 residents, one of the highest in America. The collapse of the local manufacturing base decades ago left behind a skeletal infrastructure that continues to serve as a hub for gang activity and property crime. Why it grows. Saginaw is part of the Great Lakes Resilience movement. As climate change and water scarcity drive people away from the Sun Belt, the water-rich Saginaw Valley is becoming an attractive long-term bet for climate-conscious migrants. The draw. In 2026, you can buy a stately, historic mansion in Saginaw for under $150,000. This has attracted a pioneer class of renovators and remote workers who are betting on a 10-year turnaround, viewing the crime as a temporary byproduct of poverty that will be priced out. 5. Lumberton, North Carolina. Why number 5? Lumberton ranks 5th due to its extreme property and violent crime rates, which surpass the national average by over 480%. In 2026, the town faces a transit crisis, with violent crime rates reaching 2018 per 100,000 inhabitants. Its location on I-95 makes it a target for transient crime, including high-frequency motor vehicle thefts. Why it grows? Lumberton is a strategic midpoint for the regional agricultural and lumber industries. It serves as a bedroom community for the nearby Fort Liberty, formerly Fort Bragg, which provides a stable, military-driven population flow. The draw, for many, Lumberton is simply the cheapest point on the East Coast corridor. In 2026, the housing prices here are so low that residents can afford high-end home security systems and still save thousands of dollars annually compared to living in Fayetteville or Raleigh. 6. West Monroe, Louisiana. Why number 6? Often overshadowed by its neighbor across the river, West Monroe mirrors the danger with a violent crime rate of 1,359 per 100,000 residents. While property crime is the most frequent offense, the town's aggravated assault statistics in 2026 remain a significant concern for the local police department. Why it grows? West Monroe is seen as the refuge for people who work in the larger Monroe metro area but want a separate school district and municipal government. This political divorce from the more dangerous core has actually spurred residential growth in its northern suburbs. The draw: the town offers a small-town Americana vibe that is heavily marketed to families. The local Duck Dynasty fame has created a tourism-adjacent economy that keeps local shops thriving, even as the crime stats remain stubbornly high. 7. Marksville, Louisiana. Why number 7? Marksville rounds out the list with a staggering risk profile. Residents have a 1 in 13 chance of falling victim to crime. In 2026, violent crimes occur at a rate of 2,209 per 100,000 individuals. The town's high crime numbers are attributed to a low economic standing combined with an insufficient police department for its transient population. Why it grows? Marksville is a regional gaming and entertainment hub. The presence of the Paragon Casino Resort provides a massive source of employment and tax revenue that sustains the town's growth despite the safety concerns. The draw: the casino economy provides a level of entertainment and big city amenities that are rare in such a small town. For residents, the Paragon Bubble offers a safe, well-guarded environment for work and play, even if the surrounding town remains statistically volatile. Conclusion: the safety versus savings trade-off. In 2026, the growth of these 7 dangerous small towns proves that economic gravity is more powerful than fear. The why behind their continued expansion is rooted in the affordability crisis of the American coasts. People aren't moving to Alexandria or Saginaw because they love the crime statistics. They are moving there because these towns offer the last remaining floor in the U.S. housing market. To survive the micro-urban crime paradox, residents are adopting a neighborhood-first mentality, focusing on specific safe streets while ignoring the town-wide averages. As the 2020s progress, these towns will either be revitalized by this new influx of capital or become the permanent testing ground for the trade-off between a cheap mortgage and personal safety.